I paid $160 for today's unit on storagetreasures.com. I'm gonna take y'all inside the unit. The reason I purchased this unit was because of that vintage iMac box, as well as the 4 others there in the back. I am hoping those are full of vintage iMacs from, I believe, 1999. They were a really cool design and highly collectible. So if all 5 are in there, I should 5 times my money just with those iMacs alone. So I thought this was a no-brainer with the caveat of them being in this unit. We'll have to wait and see. Also, I thought that robot up there was pretty cool, and those are starting to become very collectible as well. That being said, I'm super excited to get straight into this unit, so let's not wait any longer. Since getting into storage units, I did not realize how expensive old antique frames can be. It is crazy what they can fetch, especially some of the larger ones. I would have never thought they would go for as much. A lot of times, the frames are more valuable than the actual paintings themselves. So if you ever come across antique frames, you're definitely gonna wanna look those up. This frame is completely falling apart. And boy, that is a very creepy looking picture of a doll on a rocking horse. But either way, that one is going straight to the dump. That looks like a bunch of paperwork from a business that I'll leave behind. See what are in these bins. Whoa. This is pretty cool. It's definitely seen its better days, but this thing is pretty sweet. VR 3D tunnel racer. I've actually never seen this before. This looks like it's actually a little bit before my time. No, it's actually not. This was manufactured in 2000. I would assume this should be resellable. All right. That is pretty much full of just a bunch of magazines. And then the box underneath just had a bunch of Christmas decorations. I'm not gonna lie, I think one of the stipulations to renting out a storage unit is you have to be an avid smoker. Obviously no shade to the smoking community, but every one of them has about the same smell inside. This is all just a bunch of old time movies and books, but that's pretty cool. Red Dawn on VHS. Do not think that's gonna be resellable though. Alrighty, what is in this box? Oh, we got something resellable. It's a pretty nice N64 controller. Usually these are worth like $10 to $20. I just gave it a little test. Seems to be in pretty good working shape. Obviously you gotta plug it in to make sure it works, but this should fetch anywhere from like 10 to 20 bucks. Oh, that's pretty cool. An old cassette player right there. I don't think these are quite vintage enough to be super sought after. Oh, everybody, rock your body. Didn't have the CD in here and it didn't have the video game in there. I'll have to look this up, but I don't think it's gonna be worth much. If this wasn't so rusted, this would be pretty cool. You can use that for like campfires and stuff. Can I be completely honest with y'all? I'm not that big of a Star Wars fan. I don't fully understand why it's so popular, but I do know this is from Star Wars. Is this like a starship or something? Something like that. Whoa, these are gross. Another reason I like this unit was because of these clubs in here with this bag. But boy, in the picture it did not look this rough. I'll throw away the bag and maybe try to clean off the clubs, but I've also never heard of Northwestern golf clubs, so I'm assuming they probably won't be that valuable. Here's a decent little snow shovel. Should be able to get like $5 for it. Oh. Take that back. Snow shovel is broken now. All right, I thought this could be some cool stuff. Right in here, maybe. Nothing really in there. We got an interesting box right here. I don't know if we're gonna find anything too crazy, but these are cool flashlights on a tripod. Nice. As long as those work, those should be resellable right there. Unfortunately, all the tech in here is old, but not old enough to be cool and vintage. Uh-oh, little shake weight. All right, let's see what's in here. What is this? This is kind of cool. Sports Hero Slam Dunk Basketball. Electronic game. Fortunately, it doesn't work, but it also doesn't feel like there's batteries in it. That's kind of cool. Old Ferrari Testarossa. Sometimes you're only a few minutes into a storage unit. You already know it was a bad buy. I'm not saying that for this unit yet, but we are getting kind of close to that point. And I've got bad news. Unfortunately, what I was hoping for was not in this one. There are still several iMac boxes, actually more iMac boxes in here than I thought. So hopefully there are some in here, but the first one, unfortunately, didn't have it in there. When it rains, it pours. 0 for 2, unfortunately, on these iMac boxes. That is kind of a cool puzzle right there. Extra large. Movie poster, Batman Returns. Mega charger. That's kind of cool. Battery charger. I like that. That's cool. Nothing more in that box, unfortunately. All right, I'm going to bring y'all in here a little closer so y'all can see what I've been seeing. All right, this has basically been every single box so far. Just a bunch of junky old toys. This wasn't a lean unit. This was a manager special. Now I'm assuming everything's basically been picked through and wondering why I purchased this unit. Finally, we've gone through enough boxes of striking out. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know some of these things can bring in a lot of money. Some of these antique dishes. I don't even know what that is. Is that an egg holder? Let me know if you know what that is. If you're into this sort of thing, I think these are pretty cool. I'm not necessarily the target demo for salt shakers, but kind of cool stuff there. Oh, wow. Not exactly sure how to describe what I'm looking at, but this is such an odd figure. This thing right here is either worth 50 cents or $5,000. There's no in between on that guy right there. It does say it's made in Japan. That's kind of fun, I guess. Once again, if you're into that sort of thing. There's a Disney's Mickey Mouse Club cup. What is going on with this guy? Oh, or gal. A Napkoware. It says a $25 price tag on it. This lady is missing a back. I don't know exactly why, but should be resellable right along everything else. I typically wouldn't spend so much time looking through these things, but whenever it's been as unsuccessful as it's been, you kind of got to peel back the layers of units like this to find the small things so you don't tear up after knowing you bought this and have to clean it all out. Just because a unit goes for cheap doesn't mean you should buy it. That is going to be the best lesson we can all learn from today's video, because there is a lot of work that goes into these units. I'm saying it out loud, so hopefully I can even hear it for myself. Ooh, fun. Encyclopedia. Oh, all that negativity. Maybe all for none. Should have stayed positive. This box right here is why we do it. Oh, this one's heavy. Oh boy. All right, we are breaking through that box beneath. Let me rearrange something real quick. This is not for people with back problems. Make sure you're doing your rows, your pull-ups. Your back will be tested. Let me bring y'all in closer for this one. Take a look at this. Obviously, we've got some all-time classics over here. Obviously, none of these are sealed still, but wow, these are all classics, and I actually think some of these should bring me in a few dollars. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. Mighty Ducks D3, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, another great movie, the follow-up to Honey, We Shrunk the Kids. A great movie with Rick Moranis, Little Giants, another Rick Moranis classic, the annexation of Puerto Rico, an all-time play call when their backs were against the wall. But look at this. Oh, we do have another all-time sports movie up there with Space Jam, but Aristocrats also classic. But we do have some Pokemon stuff in here, and I may have gotten a little too excited too soon because all of those boxes are empty. I thought this was pretty sweet. This 1996 Corvette. I thought this was cool. There's an N64 game. All right, egg on my face. I thought these had stuff in it. They unfortunately don't. But a lot of really cool VHSs in there. All right, this does need to be cleaned up just a little bit. But that is pretty cool. The Rad Robot 2.0. Very fitting for our channel. Definitely needs to be cleaned up quite a bit. Who knows how long it's been in here. But that is pretty sweet right there. I don't know if someone just bought out the Mac store. There's so many of these boxes. And unfortunately, not a single one has had anything in it. Oh, that's cool. Here's a Sonic 2 Sega Genesis game. That's cool. Here's a Sega PICO. Maybe this is worth something. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, this is kind of cool. An old set of McGregor golf clubs. Here's a Pokemon Battle Stadium. For some reason, my mic decided to stop working towards the end of this video, so I'm gonna voice over the last few items. Here is a vintage Atari console, which I thought was really cool and probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite item in the entire storage unit. This was a little bit before my time, but I thought it was really cool. And lastly, here was a vintage Red Sox Christmas ornament that I thought was really cool and should be fairly collectible to any Red Sox fans out there. And that was it for today's storage unit. I hope we all learned a lesson in not buying the manager's special storage units. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Peace.